Hey guys, one of the greatest adversities that I had to face ever was being a single parent for more than 3 years. Me and my husband had a few issues in our family and we were separated over this period of time. But thanks God, everything is working very well right now. We're back together. But in the same time, he works abroad, so I'm still partially in the same situation. Now, the adversity that I'm talking about is learning how to be a single parent, learning how to handle everything on your own, learning that the only person that you can rely on is yourself. And having two very young kids, one was 1.5 and the other one was 2.5 when it happened, was like a strike to me because I had my job. I had two kids that I had to, look after. And in the first year that I went back to my workplace, it was the same first year for them to enter community. So you can imagine that as the first year for kids to get in contact with with an entire group of other kids, that meant a lot of time spent in sick leave. And I can admit that I was really fortunate for my bosses to understand me back then, because otherwise I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have, handled everything. But in the same time, there was a lot of pressure coming externally and internally from my brain. But most of it, the hardest part was the internal one, because I had a constant debate with myself, either to get a divorce or either to, keep on going with the marriage. So, however, over these 3 years, I learned a lot about myself. I learned about the fact that I'm stronger, way stronger than I ever thought that I would be. I learned that people can change. I never saw him, capable of change. But let me tell you that people, if they want to do, they change. And it meant, for me, that period of time was what made me strong. Okay, because in those 3 years, I learned what I want. I learned what I can do. I learned literally who I am and how much I can take care of my kids. So in this very moment, if anyone would tell me that I am not able to take care of my kids as well as I can as a parent, then, well, it's just their impression, not mine. It's not my luggage. I learned that what people tell me is not my luggage, but is theirs. So there's a lot of lessons that I learned back then, and how I overcame all this. I cried a lot. I came in touch with my feelings, to be honest. I was disappointed. I was desperate. Okay, at some point I was desperate, and I admit it. I have no reasons to be ashamed of it. But and I know that there's a lot of single parents that go through this. There's also a part of guilt that we feel because, well, I was thinking about my marriage to be a failed one, okay? And I used to blame myself. I used to blame my partner. But in the end, I learned that the blame is somewhere in the middle. It's never exclusive. And, but I learned about acceptance as well, okay? I learned to accept myself. I learned to accept him more. And I learned that self-improvement is actually available if we want to open our minds, our eyes, and our hearts. I'm gonna see you tomorrow for day 5.